there was a long time there, even just up to as recently as a year ago, where I had absolutely no interest whatsoever in the zombie genre. I don't think I understood it as well as I needed to really become interested, and it just didn't seem to me like something that could lend itself very well to storytelling. And now, as recently as about 5 months ago, I'm really into it. I understand that zombies are everywhere, and it's like this multi-billion-dollar industry now, sort of an industry unto itself. But I've really become interested, and I've really become appreciative of the kinds of stories that you can tell in a zombie novel, or in a zombie movie, or in a zombie video game, or in a zombie anything. Because, I mean, if you want to get cynical, no, it's not really all that different from any other apocalypse, where something happens to destroy the world and destroy our infrastructure, or destroy our government or whatever, and these small group of people have to hold up and survive. There's all kinds of stories like that, and you can do that without zombies. The one unique thing about the zombie genre is that the zombies are still happening after the apocalypse. So, whereas in other apocalypse stories and entertainment, all we have to focus on is rebuilding. In the zombie genre, we have to focus on rebuilding while still combating the zombies, and so it really actually does lend itself very well to good storytelling at times. And I think that if you are looking for the pinnacle, the absolute best zombie story that I have read so far, it is World War Z. This book is so unique and told from such a unique angle. It's like War of the Worlds. It actually feels real. It feels like this is something that kind of semi-happened. You have to sort of remind yourself that you're not reading about events that actually took place, because it is so real. And it's a damn good book. I was not expecting it to be nearly as good as it was. So when I started to hear about how much the movie was deviating from the book, I got a little bit worried. I mean, the book is just so fantastic, and obviously fans of the book, or fans of any book, are going to want to see that book represented well on screen if they're going to bother to make a movie. I have to say that if you are one of those people who loves the book and doesn't want to see any divergence at all from the book, I would recommend that you stay away from this, because this movie is going to piss you off. World War Z, the film, I don't even think can really accurately be described as a film based on the book. If you're just going by what's in the book being on the screen, then this is not a World War Z movie in the same way that, for example, I think the Ender's Game movie is going to be an Ender's Game movie. This is more like a Plague of the Dead film, or the Morning Star trilogy in general, which was a very entertaining series, but really didn't capture the scope and heart of the human element of all of this that World War Z did. And I guess I'm going to just come out and say that I did like the film for what it was, but if you want to know what the difference is between the book and the film, I guess the best way I can describe it is, the book was something special, and this isn't. It was very entertaining, it was very exciting, I liked the experience of watching it, but to be fair and objective, at the end of the day, it was just another zombie movie. World War Z, the film, follows convention to a T, and that's, especially for this being based on the book, which defied convention at every turn, I was a little bit surprised by that. However, I cannot deny that what this film does, it does very well. It is a very action-packed, very excitement-oriented kind of thriller that I don't think you're going to be bored by, and if you do see this, I think you'll have a good time. It's just if you're looking for something unique, something that really makes this stand out, you're probably not going to find it here. It's really difficult to make this even more than a minute review if I actually talk about what happened in the film. Essentially, there is a zombie outbreak, and Brad Pitt goes from one place to another trying to track down a cure, and zombies happen to him along the way. The details of that, there really actually aren't that many details. It's just he'll go to one place and a zombie attack happens, then he'll go to another place and a zombie attack happens. He will get information about what might be a cure along the way. And I guess that there is, you do kind of have that problem where it doesn't really seem like there's any end game scenario except for the ending. The ending, which I will not give away here, gives us that one definitive goal for them to try and achieve. You don't really have that through most of the film. It really is just kind of a journey through gunning down zombies until the movie ends. Now, the zombies in this film are the runner variety that didn't really make its way into pop culture until, I think, 28 Days Later, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the film that really brought them to the forefront of pop culture and entertainment. These are not the shambling zombies that we usually find just kind of walking up to you very slow and very stupid like you would find in The Walking Dead. This is the zombies in this are stupid, but they also seem to be kind of mindlessly resourceful, if that makes any sense. I mean, they're using each other as a stepladder. They're not planning on doing this, but they do seem very single-minded and very dead set on eating your face off. And they will go through whatever they need to go through to get to you. They'll jump off of buildings to try and, grab onto a helicopter. These are very intimidating zombies, and it really is a whole hell of a lot of fun to watch the people combat this. And I feel like that's really the way to look at this, because this is a zombie film that really has the threat coming at you in a very direct way, rather than the other way you could do a zombie film, which is have it be very suspenseful and trying to, covertly getting through the zombies without them hearing you. You do get stuff like that in the end, but this is a very in-your-face action film. And, as I have been familiarizing myself with a lot of zombie literature and television and movies and all this, and video games, obviously, I have come to the conclusion that there are only two kinds of zombie stories. There is the story of what the zombie outbreak is doing to humanity, and there is what humanity is doing to the zombie outbreak. The former is usually a human story. It's about what they're doing to us as a people and as a society, and how they are affecting almost our heart and almost our soul. And are we going to do the right thing and band together and overcome this both physically and personally? Or are we just going to become selfish bastards and just use this as an opportunity to get what we want? The Walking Dead does this so well. It just, especially in the second season, did that phenomenally. The latter example, that of what we're doing to the zombie outbreak, is usually just a lot of action stars shooting at zombies. And we have a lot of this in entertainment. As I said, the Morning Star trilogy really did more of that than it did of anything. High entertainment, but sort of low human condition, if you follow me. This is a what we're doing to the zombie outbreak film. And if that's your thing, I say absolutely go see this movie. I think you're definitely going to get your money's worth. It was definitely worth a watch. I'll definitely see it again. They're probably going to make more movies, because this came in second. It got beat by Monsters University, but it still did very, very well. If they make a second film, I can say for those of you who have not read the book, they could have an opportunity to work some of the stuff in the book into another film. But if you're a fan of the book and you want to go to a World War Z movie, you're not going to find it here. I say either wait for the next one to see what they do with that, if they do anything using the source material. But if they don't, I say probably skip this, because it's probably going to piss you off. Now for the hard part. I am really conflicted on how to rate this, because I have taken films to task before for not really representing the book that they were based on. The most obvious example I can think of is I, Robot. I really got pissed off at what they did with that because the book was so good. However, in the case of iRobot, I didn't even like what they did with the film, period. Especially considering that it was based on another screenplay that they were just slapping names onto. This isn't exactly the case here. They're not doing something outlandish with the material and still using the characters and still using stuff in the book. This isn't based on the book at all. So, high entertainment, in that aspect, I'd probably give it a 7. With regard to this being based on a book, I would probably give it a 0 because it's not based on the book. I'll just split the difference as much as possible and give it a 5. What the hell? Really good for what it was, not based on the book. I'll give it a 5. So if shooting at zombies is your thing, I say definitely see this, and then hop on to PlayStation 3 and play me at Black Ops 2 Zombies, if that's your thing, because it's mine. And if you're into more of the human story of the zombie stuff, I say watch The Walking Dead Season 2. It really is just one of the best stories in that aspect that I've ever seen in the genre. So that's it for World War Z. Tune in next time where I will review Monsters University.